In a previous video, I told you about the different core components, and now we're going to look at some of the definitions of some of those components. And the first one's going to be the Azure region types. So regions, this is a single geographic area that contains one or more data centers. I showed you a picture of what a data center looked like at Azure. It is a very large complex. Each region is independent and has its own set of services, resources, as well as network infrastructure. You'll see regions when deciding where to host a resource, such as East US or West US, when I was creating the resources for the virtual machine as well as the storage. A region pair is a second region within the same geography as the primary region, and it's paired with the primary region for disaster recovery purposes. The paired region is located far enough away from the primary region that could be affected by the same disasters or events. Then we have the geo-distribution. This makes a service or application available in multiple geographic locations that are typically close to yours. You saw me show you the geo-distribution option when creating the virtual machine. And it does make it more expensive than using one of the region options that I was just talking about. Then we have sovereign regions. This has to do with government. Government-based, isolated Azure environments, and they're designed to meet strict data residency and security requirements. In other words, you don't want to have this data going off into data centers in other countries because it would be against the governing body to do that. There's also going to be a higher degree of national control and adherence to sovereignty regulations. The strongest type of sovereign types of regions is going to be in China. They have their own special rules and they have their own special section that you can choose when you're choosing what type of data center to enter your data into. Other regions and geodiversity groups are going to be, say, in Europe, the United States, as well as other parts of the world. Once again, we're back in Azure, in the Azure portal, and I've clicked on Create a New Virtual Machine just to show you the various different types of things we were just talking about earlier in this slide presentation. For instance, there's the region. So if I hit the drop down, look at all the regions all over the world that you can pick. You'll most likely want to pick the region that's closest to you for the best type of response, but you don't have to. Then you've got availability options. So you've got availability zones, where they physically separate your resources within the same Azure region. Virtual machine scale set, to distribute the virtual machines across zones and fault domains. And the availability set, to automatically distribute your VMs across multiple fault domains. As you go down this list, the more expensive it's going to get because it adds additional high availability. And since availability zone was selected, you're going to see this availability zone option here below. And here you can see up to 3 availability zones. That is going to be the option for availability zones. So I can choose all 3 if I'd like. We'll see different options if we choose a different option in the availability option, such as the virtual machine scale set, and also the availability set. We would have to pre-create these before they would show up in this Create a Virtual Machine list. Choosing these options does affect price as well as high availability if one or more data centers are unavailable.